Hello, divine creations, divine marvels, children of God. Thank you so much for dropping by this video. Just had a huge aha and excited to share it. So, there are many verses in the Bible that on the surface appear to be exclusionary, meaning some people are going to be some people are going to be included and some people are going to be excluded from God and salvation and heaven. And there are some verses that are clearly fully inclusive, that boldly declare that everyone is going to be included. And so this can lead people to an interesting conundrum of what to believe. To believe in total inclusion or partial inclusion, that some will be saved, but sadly, most will be excluded. And by excluded, I mean destroyed or tortured forever. So, both are there. However, one of the two contains the other. Full inclusion contains the other message. What I mean by that is that said another way, inevitable inclusion can explain all the other verses, whereas the people who stand the view of mm, limited inclusion and exclusion cannot explain those other verses. I'm going to give you a beautiful example. Um, do 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 do. Sorry, one moment. Thought I had the verses pulled up. Ah, there it is. So, here you go. This is First Colossians 26 and 27. And I'm reading the NIV version. But actually, let me get the Amplified. That's my fave. Okay. That is the mystery which was hidden for ages and generations has now been revealed to his saints, God's people. God chose to make known to them how great for the Gentiles are the riches of the glory of this mystery, which is Christ in you, the hope and guarantee of glory. So, sounds very exclusive. The mystery was, and now I'm going back to the NIV version. The mystery which has been kept hidden for ages and generations, but is now disclosed to the Lord's people. To them, God has chosen to make known the glories of this mystery, which is Christ in you. So it sounds like, oh, it's just for God's people. And um, it's, God's chosen to make it known just among these certain people. Sounds pretty exclusive. But here, the gospel, the good news that all will be included, unlocks that very simply of, well, at that point in history, it had been revealed to that person. But I'm going to take another verse, uh, which really um, seals the full inclusion, and then we can go look at that. You've probably heard this one before. Maybe you've heard these verses before, but you probably didn't realize, I didn't, that they talk about the full inclusion. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was God Himself. He was present originally with God. All things were made and came into existence through Him, and without Him was not even one thing made that has come into being. In Him was life, and the life was the light of men. And the light shone on in the darkness, for the darkness has never overpowered it. There came a man sent from God, whose name was John. This man came to witness that he might testify of the light, that all men might believe in it. He was not the light himself, but came that he might bear witness regarding the light. There it was, the true light coming into the world that illumines every person. Holy guacamole. Did anyone else notice verse 9? There it was, the true light coming into the world that illumines every person. And did anyone else notice? Uh, do, 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 do. Verse 7, this man, John, came to witness that he might testify of the light, that all men might believe in it. I've read those verses, I don't know how many times. I sure didn't notice those very solid alls. And then, so once you have that, once you have the key, then you can unlock everything else. You can unlock that verse from Colossians. God has a plan. God is revealing it in time to certain people. And at the end, and by the end, it's going to have been revealed to everyone. So, so I invite people to sit with this profound, this profound one thing that explains all things. The way I summarize the gospel, the good news, gospel also means declaration of victory, is inevitable, inevitability, inevitable salvation, reconciliation, reunion, communion for all. And with that one little piece, it unlocks everything else. And I'm checking out the work of Matt Spinks over in Firehouse Project, and he says very simply the gospel is that the kingdom of heaven is at hand, is closer to close, is into some mystical way, which I don't claim to fully understand, is here now. The perfected kingdom, the Christ in you reality, that mystery. And it's uh, so with that understanding, the inevitability of the perfected kingdom, then verses like the Colossians can be unlocked and made sense of. That yes, here in the human world, it is a linear process. That then in time, some people wake up to it or recognize it sooner than others. But and let's not get too fixated on that. Let's keep an eye. Let's be mindful of the happy forever after for everyone. Thanks so much for dropping by. Big love.